Hello, this is Karen Brodbeck with Strategic Leadership Solutions, and welcome to our Minitab Basics series. And today we're going to look at how to make a cause and effect diagram within Minitab. A lot of times this is called a fishbone diagram as well as an Ishikawa diagram. A fishbone diagram is important because it provides a structured method for a process improvement team to brainstorm possible causes of a problem. And then once you've got the list of possible causes, as a team, you look at them and say, what do we think of the top? I always choose 3 to 5. And so together it gives you a starting point. And I take those top 3 to 5, and then we get some data and prove out whether they truly are a root cause. A fishbone diagram traditionally splits all your possible causes into 6 M's: man, method, machine, measurement, material, and Mother Nature. The other important thing to notice is that I only have space for one possible cause. And so if I'm doing a project for maybe I'm trying to reduce defects and reduce costs and improve customer satisfaction, that would require 3 different fishbone diagrams, or we would do a decision matrix, which is another root cause tool that you can see in another video. When you identify your possible causes, you really want to make sure you have them all. So you'll expand each cause until root cause is identified. Maybe 6 M's doesn't fit your industry. A lot of industries don't have machines and equipment, so maybe the 4 P's would be more appropriate: people, policy, place, and procedure. Or really, you can do anything that you choose. Maybe you take out machines and equipment, but you have technology, so you have 5 M's and a T. So however you choose to categorize your possible causes would be appropriate. The way you do a fishbone diagram is you start with the issue that you want to address. That's your output or your effect. And then I just let a team brainstorm all the possible causes that could impact that output. And then I categorize them. And then we look at them and expand any that we do not feel are specific enough until we really are sure that we've gotten root cause listed somewhere. And then that's where my team looks at it and we agree on the top 3 to 5 that we take into the next step of the process improvement. So let's just look at some fictitious data. If you go to the website, sls-sixsigma.com, you can download this file and you can do it along with me. And what we have is a cell phone company that's been dropping calls. And so we're brainstorming some reasons for those lost calls. And then once we're done with the brainstorming, then we divide them into our categories. And so let me open the file or go to the file here. And notice how it's set up in Minitab. I have a separate column for each of my categories. And then underneath my column heading are my possible causes. So in man, it's they were driving or they dialed a wrong number and they hung up or whatever. And so I have each column holds each of my categories and all the possible causes for it. So then to make the diagram, notice Minitab, once we do it, will populate labels. So if you go to Stat, Quality Tools, Cause and Effect, you're going to see an open screen with these labels pre-populated. And then it's going to be up to us to identify the columns that go with that. So let's do it together. Stat, Quality Tools, Cause and Effect. And notice my labels are there. Notice there's space for 10. So you can add as many as you want, up to 10. You can even change these if you choose. So if I don't want personnel and I really want it to say man, or I want it to say operator or associate or whatever you call the people in your place of business, that's what you could label it as. I'm going to go back to personnel. All right, so it often looks frustrating that there's nothing over here on the left until you have to click in the causes, and then it will populate them on the left. And so then you just make your columns match the label. So our personnel is man. My machines is machine. And notice I am double clicking them. I am not typing them. It is too easy to make a typographical error. And Minitab is going to look for a column heading is exactly as it is spelled here. So I am double clicking until I get my 6 M's in there. My effect is the issue, and we are looking at lost calls. Now for our data, we have all of our labels filled in, but notice there's check boxes down here if you say you don't have any machines, and so you don't want to label and have an empty branch, you can check those so they will not be displayed. We're using all 6, so we're going to leave those unchecked. Then do OK. And there we have our fishbone diagram, at least the first pass. Notice it's put our causes on the line that go with the appropriate category. So let's say environment. Obstructions and weather are pretty general, so let's be specific. And let's expand what types of instructions and what weather condition can cause us to drop calls. If I choose, since I'm doing the same thing, I could do Control E, and that will take me back to the last thing I did. But I'll walk through the menu path, Stat, Quality Tools, Cause and Effect. And notice it held everything that you've done so far. And we have this environment that we want to expand. Before we go there, let me show you how I put it within the spreadsheet or the data window. Notice in environment I have weather and obstructions. And to keep it simple to match, I've labeled my columns of expansion the same, obstructions and weather. So what obstructions cause your cell phone to drop a call? Trees, buildings, power lines, mountains, the list could go on. So let's add to our fishbone diagram. So Stat, Quality Tools, Cause and Effect, and let's hit this sub button off to the right of environment, and notice it puts the labels that were appropriate. So it pre-populates my labels, so all I have to do is make them match. Column 9 has weather, and column 8 has my obstructions. And then I just do OK. And OK. And there I have my fishbone diagram with my second layer drawn off to the left of my initial possible causes. So at this point, this is where I would say to my team, all right, what do you think are the top 3 to 5? Once we feel like we have them all. And then I would have them identify them. And they might just identify the top 3 to 5 depending on what they think they are, just based on your best gut feeling. And then that's what we would take into the next step of the process and get data around them to make sure that they truly are our root causes. So just to review what we've done, we identified our possible causes, we brainstormed them, we put them in the data view within Minitab, and populated our causes from our columns, and created the fishbone. And then we took some subcategories. We expanded further the environment column into weather and obstructions, and created the second layer in Minitab. So Minitab allows you to do two layers, an initial and then a secondary. And most of the times, unless you've just been overly general in the beginning, two layers is adequate. So a fishbone diagram has one output, but it's a great method of brainstorming possible causes to a fairly simple issue. Just remember to expand those possible causes to be specific so that you truly identify that potential root cause. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us either by email or phone. We'd be happy to chat. We very much enjoy working with data and analyzing data here at Strategic Leadership Solutions. Thank you.